How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. We're going to break down this 5-game NBA slate and how we're going to play it on DraftKings this evening. I'm going to take questions from the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube and watching the recording, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the support that we've gotten on YouTube for all the videos, the NFL and NBA shows that we've had recently. The subscriber count has been going through the roof. The likes on each video have been going through the roof. Let's shoot for 100 likes on this video on YouTube today because it's got such a short window. It kind of expires at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let's see if we can get 100 before lock tonight in NBA. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys very much. Bonesaw is ready. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. As always, the chat is locked down to subscriber only. So if you want to get involved, if you're watching the show, click that subscribe button up above. And if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can link it to your Twitch account and subscribe absolutely free. Can't beat free. I can't give you a better, I can't pay you to subscribe. I can give this to you for free though. So let's get to the questions. Anything that you have in chat that you want to ask, whether it's a strategy question, whether it's a life question, whether it's a 2v2, a 1v1, I will answer any of your questions. LSU Fighting Tiger 01, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. That could be somebody that I know. That could be somebody I know from Twitter. One of my Twitter friends, one of my internet friends, big LSU fan. Chance says he watches me for NFL and you've done very well. Hoping this carries over. I mean, we've been on point with basketball so far in the 2 shows a week that we've done. 2 centers tonight. I like Drummond and who? I like a lot of centers tonight. Like, I don't know that it's just, you have to say, okay, it's Drummond and then who else? Like, I think Drummond is good. I think he's fine. I also think that Whiteside's in play for 1,000 cheaper. I think Draymond Green sees an uptick with Durant out at 7,500, though I'm not going to play him there. I'm probably going to play him at power forward or forward in the lineups that I play him. Vooch is in play against New York. Miles Turner, who apparently, from Drew Dinkmeyer, I just learned that his nickname is the Odometer. That's glorious. Because his first name is Miles. Tell me that's not fantastic. That's a great nickname. RJB5440, thank you very much for the sub. And J Morris MCM, thank you very much for the sub. We also have a ton of value at center tonight. Okay? PDare 006, thank you for the sub. We also have a ton of value tonight with Horford out. That opens up Aaron Baines. You have to project his minutes in the mid-20s at 3,500 on DraftKings. He's also super cheap on FD, and I think he's viable there for cash. I'm looking for punts this year on FD where I was never really looking for him before based on the way they've done the pricing. This kid that I have no idea who he is in play. Keeps popping in every projection model that I have and that I've seen. Daniel Theis. No idea about this kid. I got to go look up YouTube videos. I got to go read about this kid because with Horford out and the minutes that he's going to have to play, I'd say it's not out of the realm of possibility for him to play somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes tonight. And if he does, he's somebody who could reach value, and you get power forward eligibility out of him where you don't have to play him at center. So you can still go with 2 premium centers if you don't want to play Baines to get to Theis. I don't know if it's Theis or Theis or these, but whatever the hell his name is, there's your dude. Now I'm going to have to hit up Pete for some YouTube videos. So a lot of centers tonight, and it's going to depend on how you make those. It's pronounced Theis. That's egregious. Are the Handsy Suns big men with Whiteside roaming? I agree with you there. Probably not going to go with Chris, but I do like Len. I think Len is somebody that we do have to pay attention to this evening. If you're not looking for a bare minimum salary guy, but somebody who could double. As good as Whiteside is, he's not good defensively. He gambles too much. He gives up a lot of offensive rebounds and putbacks because of his wanting to block every shot. Cat or Drummond for GPP. Drummond's going to be higher owned, so I prefer Cat. If it's for GPP, I want to go with the one that has the same upside but half the ownership. Is Waiters a play after having a child, taking a stroll down Narrative Street? You know, is gonna have a big game for the new kid. Not somebody that I'm necessarily going to be on this evening. Any Lance Stevenson love? Like him at 3,300? We could take a look. He's not normally somebody that I really target, but did get minutes last night. Definitely, whoever mentioned him yesterday in chat, he had a good game for you. He's so up and down. Like, again, averaging 3.5 rebounds a game, had 8 rebounds yesterday. Averaging 15 fantasy points a game, had 29 yesterday. He kind of cycles in this range, right? Where, like, he's not going to be a point a minute guy. He's under a point a minute guy for a while, but he can express his abilities with more minutes. So if you think he's going to get 25 plus minutes with Sabonis out, if he is indeed out again tonight, I don't hate it at 3,300. Lance played the entire second quarter last night because he was going off. And that's the other thing. Like, if you realize that somebody's getting extra minutes because they're just hitting, then that's a different story. Thoughts on Clay tonight with Butler D all over him? I don't know that that's going to make that much of a difference. I really don't. And if you look at small forward, at shooting guard tonight, Booker was going to be very popular. Oladipo was going to be very popular. And then Thompson takes a big hit because, he's going to totally rely on his shooting ability to actually exceed value like he did here against San Antonio when he was 11 of 17 from the field. But he's going to get looks more like this tonight than like this with Durant out. He's going to get, 20 shots easy. He's going to be relied on to score. He's going to have the ball in his hands a little bit more tonight than normal just because there is Durant not there. Sabonis is officially out. Good. We've got a ton of people out. 350 people in the chat. Appreciate you guys showing up for the stream today. The support has been absolutely tremendous. Funny. Kind of correlates with my win streak. People hate that. It's like, oh, he's winning and he wants you to watch the show more. No, because I'm winning, people just watch the show more. It's the nature of the beast, man. I don't blame them. Somebody's doing something right. You want to know what they're doing right. So I appreciate y'all being here. Eric Gordon going to crush tonight? He's all right. I don't hate it. There's not a lot of power forwards that I absolutely am enamored with tonight at the high end, right? Like, if we look at power forward, right? So we come here and we look at power forward. Durant's out. He was somebody I definitely wanted to play. Porzingis questionable, may not play. And I mentioned this on Twitter this morning, right? As good as Porzingis has been the last 3 games, right? This here, 67%, 62.5%, 59% from a guy who shot 45% last year. Granted, his shooting percentage is way up this year. It's over 50%, 51, 52%. But that's not sustainable. Right? And as that comes down, this will come down. And as this comes down, this will come down. So there's no way he's going to continue scoring at a 65% clip. And we talked about this before yesterday. He's also not a great rebounder. Past 10 games, 1 double-digit rebound game. Just not. He's awesome. Take nothing away from him as a player. Like, people, oh, you hate Porzingis. No, I really think Porzingis is amazing. I also really think that Porzingis can't maintain this level of efficiency that he's had on this very recent run. Markieff night, Morris is definitely in play. Boston value is going to be, there's a lot of it. From Marcus Smart to Marcus Morris, just play the Marcuses. To Thies, to Baines, to Tatum. There's a lot of value. And you could even, I don't think that it's wrong to go after Kyrie tonight because where else are you going to spend, right? So, like, play a couple of the values or 3 of the values on Boston, then go get Kyrie because everybody's going to look for value there and they want to spend up at center. It's very easy to be contrarian tonight with really, really good players. Did I watch Ben Simmons last night? I try to watch Ben Simmons every night. Ben Simmons is amazing. I love watching that kid play. He's freaking fast, man. For somebody that's that big, he's quick. Okay, there's a difference between quick and fast. He is both quick and fast, which is, he can't shoot threes a lick. And, like, once they force him to stay out there, sure, but I don't know that you can keep him out there because he's just so quick. He gets around anybody that's manned up on him. 3 Boston guys, too much for cash. Nope. Might go 4. 4 Boston guys might be the chalk for cash tonight. Favorite Warrior tonight, same as my son. Yeah, he loves Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry. Look, we need to find ways to pay up, right? I mean, you could go balance, but like with the value that's out there, why would you not go stars and scrubs on a night like this when these are Durant out, Porzingis questionable, might take a rest tonight. So you have Curry, you have Towns at center, but there's so many centers. Why do we need to have Towns? Love him in GPPs though, for that exact reason. Kyrie Irving, and then you come down to 8K for Booker and Oladipo. So like, I think I like all three of the original core Warriors tonight. I like Curry, I like Draymond, and I like Clay. I think they're all fine this evening. And again, I know how to build a cash game lineup. I don't know that I'm going to stuff all three of them in there. I don't know if you can fit all three of them in your cash game lineup tonight. I don't think it's a terrible idea to do that, especially with Durant out. But I'm focusing on high stakes tournaments and then multi-entry tournaments, and I'm doing quite well at it right now. I spent most of last season trying to get good at it. I finally got good at it by like February. If you guys remember back to the end of last season, I started doing real well and entering like the showcase, and I had a deep run in that. Then I made the playoff showcase. I really finally figured out myself as a GPP player after taking an entire season to learn how to do it. Ended up profitable last season in NBA, and then I'm not trying to break my arm patting myself in the back, but I've kind of been crushing NBA for the first month of the season. Thoughts on Warren tonight? Way too cheap on FD. I think he's definitely in play on DK as well. Like, they just don't move his price over there. Best two scrubs to shove in your line. Okay, well, that's the thing that we always talk about, right? It's a good question, but we'll go over this again. I'm going to say this every show because we have so many new viewers, right? Like from show to show. So those of you who have been here before, we're going to talk about how do I start my first lineup. Like my lineup build goes like this. Pick the three values that you want. The three highest projected values, point per dollar guys on your menu for the night. Okay, put those three guys in your lineup. Then take two guys 8K and above and jam them in your lineup. Tonight, you might want to go down to 7,500 because there's just not very many options 8K and above because it's a short slate and a couple of the options are out. Then figure out what's left, you know? And I'll show you my lineup from yesterday real quick once I get in here. Oh, geez. No, don't do that to me. Okay, so this is the lineup from yesterday. And you can see where we started, right? So I started, and these are the ownerships. This is the $1,500 tournament. 2 max, 102K. I came in first yesterday. I don't remember what it was. 25K to first. So Patty Mills, who yesterday was what, like 3,800 or something. Wes Johnson, who we talked about on the show, 3,400. For me, was a plug and play. And again, in this tournament, he was 37% owned. In the $4 tournament, he was like 6. In the $33, he was like 12. So he's massively under owned. But as we've talked about, as you go up in stakes, the game changes and these guys are sharper as we get up in stakes. TJ McConnell was the third value guy that I liked the most that night. I went for Jokic and Antetokounmpo. And at that point, it leaves me 3 spots. So I wanted to get Millsap. Obviously didn't get as many points as I wanted or thought he would, but 30 points is not going to kill you. Brogdon performed very well, reached kind of a ceiling for him, which was around 40 points, and that left me with 5,100. And Harrison Barnes was nobody I was considering all day, but he was the highest projected player at 5,100 and down that I had on my list, so I just plugged him in as the last guy in. Right? H3 Buddha, thank you very much for the 3 months. It didn't announce it. It says 3 months strong. Favors cost me big last night. Redick was the play. Redick has been going off. Thoughts on Reggie Bullock for 3K tonight on FD? I don't know that he's necessary. I'm going to want to pay up at point guard tonight. There's so much value everywhere else. My favorite positions to pay up for? Different from other sports. I pay up where it makes sense. So it could be small forward. I love paying up for triple-double guys on DraftKings. And we have a lot of them now. Guys with the realistic probability of a triple-double. Westbrook, Harden, Antetokounmpo, Ben Simmons now, LeBron James. Guys who do that, right? I love paying up for players like that. Because you should get a double-double. You have a realistic chance at a triple-double. That makes up for a lot of points when you get there. How do I feel about Iggy as a value play tonight? I'm probably not going to go there. Definitely not in cash or my main lineup. And I'm probably not going to end up there for a large allocation in GPPs. There's enough doable value out there that I don't think we need to go that far out on a limb. And realize, like I said, if you guys are playing lower stakes stuff, right? If you're playing in like the $4 tournaments, yeah, Jokic was the other guy that I loved a lot. and pay for all the time, and he's massively underpriced because he started off slow. So like you're getting values that can go triple double. So think about what we said, right? Like everybody said, well, everybody's going to be on this guy. In the low dollar tournaments, they're not on those guys. They just aren't. So just play those dudes. One guy I won't fade in cash in tournament tonight. I don't know. I don't really fade people. Like I'm the wrong guy to ask that question. Like I don't approach it that way. I keep it really, really simple. And some people don't like that I keep it really simple, but simple works. And to me, it's about, this is my process. I tell you how I build a lineup every day. We've gone over this every day that we've said it, that we've had this show, and it works. And when everything lines up, you start winning GPPs. And when you start winning GPPs, it makes your whole season. It's going to be very difficult for me to have a losing NBA season right now because I don't up my play when I go on a winning streak. I just play the same stuff all the time because that's the process. I don't do anything differently when I'm winning, and I don't do anything differently when I'm losing. I suggest you do the same. So I think Brolo is a decent pivot from other chalkier centers tonight. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this as well. The highest correlation between real life and fantasy is scoring points. The second most is minutes. And that's why I always say minutes equals money, because if you're a scorer, and the more time you spend on the floor, the more you're going to score. Book It Boy, thank you very much for the new sub. Appreciate you. So somebody like Brook Lopez, who depends on scoring to be effective and is not expensive, he's pretty cheap, makes for like a mid-range value that I think is going to be a little bit under-owned, because I think people are going to go for the high-end guys. Drummond, Whiteside, Vooch, Draymond, or pay down for Len and Baines and whatever the hell the kid's name is. Thies or whatever. I've even forgotten how to pronounce it. Whatever. That guy, the min salary guy. And forget about the mid-range guys. Guys like Cantor, guys like Brook Lopez, guys like Miles Turner are going to be under-owned this evening. Clarkson in cash seems too cheap. Let's take a look. Let me pull them up real quick for you. This is my main issue. Like, I know he's doing it, right? Like, I know he comes in and he's doing fine. I don't think he can hurt you that much, to be honest. Right? Like, looking at the last 5 games, right? We're going to look at his most recent usage. So, he's floating between 20 and 25 minutes pretty consistently. He's getting between 9 and 12 shots very consistently. He's a little bit too efficient here and here because that's not who he is. But it's against second unit players because he's not starting. He's actually chipping in with assists and rebounds. I don't hate it. Realize that here you're getting 4 extra points in each of these games, but that would still put him at exceeding value here and exceeding value here. I think he's a safe value. Not much upside, though. Not a big upside guy. You're not going to get a 40-point game out of Clarkson. But I don't hate it. I really don't. Is Oladipo in play? Yes, most definitely. Favorite Nick if Porzingis sits? Cantor? Probably. I haven't spent much time doing on-off stuff with the Knicks yet because, like I said, I was writing Best Buys all day, and I had to focus on the guys who were announced out early, so I left Porzingis as like a wait and see. Like Aaron Gordon tonight? Yeah, I don't mind Aaron Gordon. Rank these team stacks tonight. Boston, Detroit, or GSW. Well, Boston's going to be really, really... I think the high-end guys on Golden State and the cheap guys on Boston are going to be the most popular. I don't think the Detroit guys are going to be stacked. Or at least if they will, it'll be way less owned than those other two. Top cash game stud? Curry. What other Heat players do you like besides Whiteside? None. I try not to frequent the Heat. Tyler Johnson or Dragic, or both maybe. I think there are better plays. I think Dragic is fine. Like, not thrilling, but like he's fine. Do I prefer Kyrie or Cat for GPPs? I think they're both fine because I don't think anybody's going to go for... I think Cat's going to be less owned because of how many plays there are at center. And obviously has 50, 60 point upside. Kyrie, to have 50, 60 point upside, he needs to have like 40 real life points. He floats between 35 and 45 most nights is where you're going to see him. Where Cat's rebounding ability and block shot ability gives him the opportunity to have higher end games. No love for Dragic versus the Suns. I mean, we're not playing the revenge card, right? That statute of limitations has run out. I like him in the pace-up game. I do. Like, he's fine. But, like, I don't think he's like a 50-point type guy where I think that Curry or Kyrie have an easier path to 45 or 50. And I can find them super easily. Tatum or Brown? Tatum. I think he might start at power forward tonight. So I kind of like him. Like, I think they might go with Smart at small forward and Tatum at power forward. And he's definitely shown a nose for the ball and the basket. Kuzma, Randall, GPP plays. Kuzma's good, man. Kuzma's just really good. His price has come up to reflect it, though. You know, which is a hair disappointing. But, like, look at all the things I like. Love this. Love the minutes. Love the fact that he's consistently getting shots. The ball just finds him. You know, the ball seems to find him constantly. And the more minutes he plays, the more rebounds he's going to get. I'm not expecting this sort of rebounding, but if he plays this many minutes, he might get there. I don't know. If you expect maybe 35 minutes out of Kuzma, you know, if you project him for like 35 minutes, I think he gets around value, which would be what, like 30-ish, you know, between 30 and 35 points. He's been good. He's been real good. And if he has a hot shooting night, it's going to be even better. You know, like a night like this where he's 4 of 4 from deep. Great off-ball player. Yeah, just knows how to move, man. Knows how to move. Did I see that DK now has World Poker Tour Saddies? I won one of those a couple years ago to the LA Poker Classic. And I used to play professional poker for a few years. And then, like, I gave it up because I had kids and I couldn't travel and do the stuff anymore when I had a little, you know, my 7.5-year-old was little. And then I won that like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it was the least fun I ever had at a poker tournament. Not because of DK. Like, I love that I won the seat on DK, but like, just how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. We're going to break down this 5-game NBA slate and how we're going to play it on DraftKings this evening. I'm going to take questions from the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube and watching the recording, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the support that we've gotten on YouTube for all the videos, the NFL and NBA shows that we've had recently. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. We're going to break down this 5-game NBA slate and how we're going to play it on DraftKings this evening. I'm going to take questions from the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube and watching the recording, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the support that we've gotten on YouTube for all the videos, the NFL and NBA shows that we've had recently. The subscriber count has been going through the roof. The likes on each video have been going through the roof. Let's shoot for 100 likes on this video on YouTube today because it's got such a short window. It kind of expires at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let's see if we can get 100 before lock tonight in NBA. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys very much. Bonesaw is ready. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. As always, the chat is locked down to subscriber only. So if you want to get involved, if you're watching the show, click that subscribe button up above. And if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can link it to your Twitch account and subscribe absolutely free. Can't beat free. I can't give you a better, I can't pay you to subscribe. I can give this to you for free though. So let's get to the questions. Anything that you have in chat that you want to ask. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. We're going to break down this 5-game NBA slate and how we're going to play it on DraftKings this evening. I'm going to take questions from the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube and watching the recording, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the support that we've gotten on YouTube for all the videos, the NFL and NBA shows that we've had recently. The subscriber count has been going through the roof. The likes on each video have been going through the roof. Let's shoot for 100 likes on this video on YouTube today because it's got such a short window. It kind of expires at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let's see if we can get 100 before lock tonight in NBA. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys very much. Bonesaw is ready. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. As always, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday. We're going to break down this 5-game NBA slate and how we're going to play it on DraftKings this evening. I'm going to take questions from the chat here on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube and watching the recording, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate all the support that we've gotten on YouTube for all the videos, the NFL and NBA shows that we've had recently. The subscriber count has been going through the roof. The likes on each video have been going through the roof. Let's shoot for 100 likes on this video on YouTube today because it's got such a short window. It kind of expires at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So let's see if we can get 100 before lock tonight in NBA. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys very much. Bonesaw is ready. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. As always, the chat is locked down to subscriber only. So if you want to get involved, if you're watching the show, click that subscribe button up above. And if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can link it to your Twitch account and subscribe absolutely free. Can't beat free. I can't give you a better, I can't pay you to subscribe. I can give this to you for free though. So let's get to the questions. Anything that you have in chat that you want to ask, whether it's a strategy question, whether it's a life question, whether it's a 2v2, a 1v1, I will answer any of your questions. LSU Fighting Tiger 01, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. That could be somebody that I know. That could be somebody I know from Twitter. One of my Twitter friends, one of my internet friends, big LSU fan. Chance says he watches me for NFL and you've done very well, hoping this carries over. I mean, we've been on point with basketball so far in the 2 shows a week that we've done. 2 centers tonight. I like Drummond and who? I like a lot of centers tonight. Like, I don't know that it's just, you have to say, okay, it's Drummond and then who else? Like, I think Drummond is good. I think he's fine. I also think that Whiteside's in play for 1,000 cheaper. I think Draymond Green sees an uptick with Durant out at 7,500, though I'm not going to play him there. I'm probably going to play him at power forward or forward in the lineups that I play him. Vooch is in play against New York. Miles Turner, who apparently, from Drew Dinkmeyer, I just learned that his nickname is the Odometer. That's glorious, because his first name is Miles. Tell me that's not fantastic. That's a great nickname. RJB5440, thank you very much for the sub. And J Morris MCM, thank you very much for the sub. We also have a ton of value at center tonight. Okay? PDare006, thank you for the sub. We also have a ton of value tonight with Horford out. That opens up Aaron Baines. You have to project his minutes in the mid-20s at 3,500 on DraftKings. He's also super cheap on FD, and I think he's viable there for cash. I'm looking for punts this year on FD where I was never really looking for him before based on the way they've done the pricing. This kid that I have no idea who he is in play. Keeps popping in every projection model that I have and that I've seen. Daniel Thies. No idea about this kid. I got to go look up YouTube videos. I got to go read about this kid because with Horford out and the minutes that he's going to have to play, I'd say it's not out of the realm of possibility for him to play somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes tonight. And if he does, he's somebody who could reach value, and you get power forward eligibility out of him where you don't have to play him at center. So you can still go with 2 premium centers if you don't want to play Baines to get to Thies. I don't know if it's Thies or Thies or These, but whatever the hell his name is, there's your dude. Now I'm going to have to hit up Pete for some YouTube videos. So a lot of centers tonight, and it's going to depend on how you make those. It's pronounced Tice. That's egregious. Are the Hansy Suns big men with Whiteside roaming? I agree with you there. Probably not going to go with Chris, but I do like Len. I think Len is somebody that we do have to pay attention to this evening. If you're not looking for a bare minimum salary guy, but somebody who could double-double. As good as Whiteside is, he's not good defensively. He gambles too much. He gives up a lot of offensive rebounds and putbacks because of his wanting to block every shot. Cat or Drummond for GPP. Drummond's going to be higher owned, so I prefer Cat. If it's for GPP, I want to go with the one that has the same upside but half the ownership. Is Waiters a play after having a child, taking a stroll down Narrative Street? You know, is going to have a big game. Wanted to say thank you for guys for being here. Whole lot of people in the chat, which means we got a whole bunch of new people. If you're new, click that follow button. It's up there somewhere, the little heart. Click that. Make sure that notifications are turned on. If you want to take part in the chat, you have to be a subscriber. You can link your Amazon account to your Twitch account absolutely free if you're an Amazon Prime sub. It gives you ad-free viewing all over Twitch. Don't have to watch ads anymore. And you get a free sub token that you can use and apply to this channel and get involved in the chat. You also get access to some sub-only channels that are in the Discord chat. Anytime you want the link to that, just type !Discord in chat. Is that all the questions, guys? That's all the questions. I'll get out of here early. You guys can ask strategy questions too. I like strategy questions. They're my favorite. It doesn't always have to be like, should I play this guy? Should I play this guy? Strategy stuff is probably more important. Learning a process is more important than tell me, give me the answers to the test today. Learn to fish. Here's my password. Set my lineup. Do I have a DFS content site that I run or go to? I used to run a site and it made me miserable. So I shut it down. I enjoy doing what I do now much better. So I have the podcasts that I do. Please subscribe to them. On the Ball podcast, Daily Fantasy Edge. I'm a contributor on the 06010 for ESPN. I have my ESPN Insider article. Best Buys that comes out tomorrow that I have to get back to writing after we finish this show. And obviously the Twitch stream is my most direct line to anybody that wants access. Are you putting your cash game lineup in a low stakes single entry tournament? Yes. Always enter your cash game lineup in a tournament just for extra added upside. Recommendation for building bankroll. We went over this a couple days ago. It obviously depends on your bankroll. But I suggested this, right? So in the lobby, they have 3 max games and they have the 150 max games or the 20 max games, right? Play the 3 max games with whatever your bankroll is. So if your bankroll, if you play $25 a day, we have a few people that are trying this to see if they can be successful with it. Fred B125, thank you very much for the new sub. Enter the 3 max game. Take your cash game lineup or your main lineup, right? Because I don't play cash games anymore, so I play my main lineup in that. And then make a pivot lineup. Tweak it a little bit, 2 players out of your cash game or your main lineup, or 3 players out, and put 3 different guys in. And then a complete GPP lineup. Find out where everybody's looking for value. If everybody's looking for value at power forward and center tonight, pay up at power forward and center and play value plays at other positions to give yourselves good plays, but differentiate your lineup from everywhere else, right? Put those 3 in the 3 max games. For the $4 game, that's $12. And then put them in the sharpshooter or whatever, the $3 game with the 20 max or the 100 max. So now you're in for $24 on the day with upside of 100K, right? That $4 tournament usually has 100K to first in NBA. So on a night where you might have the nuts, and you might have the nuts, one night, the 3 max game, you're going to cash more consistently. The game with more lineups is going to be harder because there's a lot more lineups in it to get all the way to the top. But if there's one night that you blow your bankroll completely. It just goes nuclear for $24 investment every day. And I think that $20 that you're going to play is right in the range of a casual player, right? So I'm not telling you got to play $1,000, you got to play $5,000 if you want to. No, you can have a realistic chance at really exploding your bankroll for $12 or $24 a day. What sites do I go to find on-off data? Everybody has it now. NBA Wowie has it, and then they were the first ones that had it. NBA.com has it. RG has it. Fantasy Labs has it. Every single site, A, incorporates it into their projections, and B, offers you the ability to search for it. So it's everywhere. Just search for NBA on/off on Google, and you'll find it. You find 20 sites. You need a small forward and a point guard. I mean, I can't just give you, ask me questions. Do you like this guy or this guy? Newbie player better to do $51 or quarter games. It depends on what your bank. I can't tell you what level to play at. I don't know what your bankroll is. I don't know what your life situation is. I don't want to tell you to play something that's out of your bankroll. Play wherever you feel comfortable. If you ever feel uncomfortable with the amount of money that you're spending, don't spend that, right? How often do I play 3 centers? You mean one at power forward? When the situation dictates it. I'm not married to anything in terms of lineup construction in NBA. If you watch my NFL shows, my NFL build for my main lineup is very, very, very simple, straightforward. Cheap at quarterback, spend up for volume, get as many targets as you can at wide receiver, cheapish tight end who gets a ton of targets and a mid-range defense, right? That's kind of what I do in football. Totally different in basketball. It's slight dependent. You have to be very, 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 very price sensitive in daily fantasy NBA. $200 in salary makes a massive difference in whether a player looks to project as a value play or looks like he's not going to make it. So you have to be way more price sensitive. Kyrie, Collison, or Dragic? Give me Kyrie. If I think two value guys are about equal, do I have a position preference, or does it depend on the studs that I want to play? It depends on their minutes. It also depends on the studs a little bit, but like I said, I don't fill my whole lineup out. I pick 3 value plays that I want, I plug them in. I pick 2 studs that I want, I plug them in, and then I work out the other 3 spots. For me, that works. 3 Celtics, too many for FD Cash? No. 4 is the max. Pay up at guards, a little up at 4. No, because there's some nights that I totally punt guards. Like I said, it's NBA. You can't go in and say, this is how I build lineups every day positionally, because that won't work. You know? Because some days you're going to spend up on 3 different guards, and some days you're going to punt all 3 guards, because that's what the slate dictates you do. So NBA, you have to be a little bit more nimble with what you're doing, and don't be rigid, where football, you can be rigid. It's somewhat solved. You know, the ability to build. Dudley popped in your optimizer. Okay for GPP? I haven't thought about Dudley. Slim Cardi, thank you very much for the new sub. Appreciate you. I gotta redo my stream deck. The buttons aren't where I like them. So Dudley played a few more minutes last game with Chandler resting. The old guy, you know, it's like they've played like 5 games in 7 nights. It's too much. I mean, he's super cheap. What does he really need to do? He's a defensive guy. He's not going to score very much. If he hits a couple of threes, he'll reach value, but like he's not a guy that you really want to hang your hat on. I think there's enough value that he wouldn't be a primary or a secondary value for me in GPPs. Like if I played 100 lineups, maybe like 2. Like I'm going to if I have exposure to him at all, it's probably going to be very minimal. You know, I haven't even looked at projections yet. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not, yeah. Like exactly my projections say exactly what I said. I'm not doing that. So I focus more on ceiling than floor in GPP lineups? Yes, I focus on both. But I'm less floor sensitive in GPPs than I am in cash. Like NBA is a sport where you can have floor guys and ceiling guys. Like if you think guys are going to reach value, just play them a lot in tournaments. You know? Because cash games in tournaments, the scoring is very similar. It's not like football, an event-based sport, right? Football and cash on FD, you want like 120. Football and cash on DK, you want like 150. If you score that in cash, you're going to be massively profitable, and you're not probably going to win very many tournaments at all, like 0. Because in tournaments on FD, you need like 200, 180 to 200, and on DK, you need like 225 to 250, so you're never going to get there. GPPs in basketball, very similar. I'm trying to get 300 points in my cash game lineup on DK. And I had 324 last night and won a GPP, right? With a lineup that I thought, this is my main lineup, this is where I'm going. So like your main lineup can definitely outscore. Is Marcus Smart a decent play for GPP? Yeah, he's fine. Favorite Laker for GPPs? Kuzma's going to be under-owned. I like him. I like Lopez. Devin Booker tonight, yeah, he's fine. There's like 4 shooting guards that are all fine. It just depends. To me, shooting guard is kind of a last man in situation for me tonight because they're all very, very similar. I'm not thinking that anyone separates themselves from the other. Right? Like Booker, Oladipo, Butler, I'm not really on. Klay Thompson, like whatever. You know, they're not guys that I feel like, oh, I have to have this one of them. Like whichever one fits, I'll play. It's kind of like first baseman in baseball tonight. What's the optimal player pool range depending on there is no optimal anything. Oladipo or Booker, whichever one fits. I have no preference, one or the other. Most sickening thing is to have a high score and only played in cash. Always enter your cash game in at least one tournament. Even if you're a small bankroll player, put it in a $1 tournament. Just put it in something for upside. Gary, you've asked like 3 times, man. You got to chill. I just told you 3 times I have no preference at shooting guard. So asking me over and over again which shooting guard, I literally have no preference. It comes down to how much salary you have left. Pick one. They're all the same. Like, all of them depend on scoring. All of them are playing the same minutes. All of them are very similarly priced. I literally have no preference at shooting guard between those guys. What's the best percentage allocation of bankroll between 50-50 and head-to-head? I prefer to have a lot of head-to-heads against more people. More head-to-heads against more people gives you less risk of ruin, right? So if you have like a 40 percentile score and you play 100 head-to-head games at the same price range, you're going to probably win about 40 of those head-to-heads. You're going to lose 60% of your money. If you played all of that money in 50-50 games, you're going to lose 100% of your invested total that day. Now, conversely, if you have a 65 percentile score and you only play head-to-heads, you're probably going to win 65% of those, where if you entered 50-50s, you probably win 100%. So there's more upside that way, but there's also more downside risk. And if you have a week where you lose 5 of 7 nights, you're just off of it, or you're running bad, or you're playing poorly, or something, you're making mistakes, your risk of ruin is a lot worse on those weeks, and you're going to start feeling bad. You're going to start chasing. So to me, going heavy on head-to-heads is way more prudent than just going 50-50s all the way. Kyrie, Curry, Oladipo pairing sounds like the right move tonight. Yeah, it could be. I think Kyrie and Curry is where we're being funneled to based on the values that are out there. Best sub 4K, probably Aaron Baines. Cantor or Warren, probably Warren unless, right? Unless Porzingis is out. Then everything changes. Drummond and Bradley, or Whiteside and Clay. Give me Whiteside and Clay. I think Clay has big upside tonight, and Bradley is just Bradley. Bradley's going to Bradley around. He's going to do his thing, and he's just going to, he's there. Clay is going to do his thing, but has more upside than Bradley. Alan, no, I did not see your question. Chat's moving a little bit quick. I'm sorry I missed it. Throw it in there again. Favorite Laker tonight? KCP love for GPPs? Sure, for GPPs only, but like low allocation for me. Can you talk us through how I'm doing my if-thens for Porzingis? Think about think about the minutes that he's playing. Those 38 minutes need to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? That usage, 35% usage, has to go somewhere else. Figure out where it's going to go, and think about who are the guys who can shoot and can score. A guy like Cantor is probably going to be relied on because he's a good offensive player in that situation. Have I posted my winning lineup for last night? Yeah, I went over it a little bit earlier. Do I go stars and scrubs in both cash and GPP? Yeah. Anytime there's easy value, I just slam the easy value. I keep it real simple. I don't mess around. Like, I'm not trying to do too much. In 3-max, is it okay to use 100% of your core? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I prefer to go a little bit off the reservation with that third lineup. And by off the reservation, I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to pick players nobody ever thought of picking before. I'm just using different value. Right? Like, if everybody's going after value at forward and center, I go after value at guards, for that third lineup. If everybody's paying up at wide receiver that week, I go cheap at wide receiver that week in my third lineup, right? That is what I consider my GPP lineup. I'm still doing it with great players, with great usage in good matchups, but I'm doing it a little less cash game optimally, so I'm getting players at 5 and 10% ownership versus 30 to 40% ownership. And same thing when you're considering basketball. If everybody's, I'm not even thinking about tonight's side. Let's think about tonight's side. If everybody's going for value at center and power forward tonight, then for your third lineup in 3-max, find value at point guard and shooting guard, right? And then spend up at those other positions as much as you can, or go mid-range, right? If everybody's going stars and scrubs for that third lineup, go balanced, right? Just do it differently. McCaw, maybe a GPP sprinkle, but not a big thing. Cat in your third line. Yeah, exactly. No, Cat in your third lineup in a 3-max is perfect tonight, because everybody wants Whiteside, and everybody wants Drummond, and everybody wants and everybody wants Baines, and everybody wants Len, and he's maybe the 6th center on the board, but he has 60-point upside, and is going to be 5% owned. Like, yes, that is a perfect GPP play to me. Have 4 Celtics and the 3 Amigos from Golden State and Len. I'm fine with that. I think that's going to be the chalk. I kind of feel like that's going to be the route that everybody goes. Like, find 4 Celtics that are cheap because they're all out there. Is game stacking a good strategy? Sure, if the game goes to double overtime. Less important than in football because of the touchdowns. You know, like if you get a game where there's 70 points on all the touchdowns, you have all of them, you're going to have a much better day. Basketball, there's a lot of possessions. So like if you have all the usage guys from specific teams that fit, or all the value guys and that game goes to overtime, then yeah, sure, they can help out. But like it's not really a day-by-day strategy for me. The Warriors are so deep, even without KD, there's no obvious value play. Exactly, which is why it comes down to who's going to get the extra usage, and the extra usage is going to fall on the 3 main guys. KCP Cantor or Len Fournier if Elf is out. Len Fournier. You put up 345 last night thanks to me? Nah, you put it up thanks to you. I just talked. You're the one that hit submit. I did nothing. Congratulations, though. It's a hell of a score. I mean, I won a ton of money with a 324, so I assume you won pretty good money. Do I pick someone in cash just for the heck of high ownership to be safe? Like picking somebody to block, right? Like if you think this guy, like everybody's on this guy because he's the sure play tonight, like should you pick him to block? I don't have a problem with that, and I understand it. It's definitely something that happens in high stakes a lot. The ownership numbers are a little bit down in lower stakes. Well, you can definitely take that free square and let somebody else make the mistake of not picking that guy. So if he busts, all the players that did pick him, which should be over 50% in basketball, if he busts, you still have a chance to cash your 50-50s and double ups. You still have a chance to win over 50% of your head-to-heads because it doesn't matter. But if he goes off, all that other 50% that didn't play that guy, you beat them already, right? And you could still beat the guys that have him. So taking the center square for the block is never a terrible idea. Nice stream. Thank you. All my poker friends used to say nice face. Like that. Like anytime they saw a picture of you, like to be sarcastic, hey, nice face. Hey, Smith, nice face. What is too much cash to leave remaining for a lineup? Like more than like 500 or more is too much. But on a short slate, it differs. This is not exact. You can spend all your money tonight. Thoughts on Josh Richardson? High variance. Good for GPPs. Not sure if I want him in cash. Do I worry about positional correlation when stacking, or do I consider? No, there's no real correlation there. I worry about value of each individual player. Hi, ACP. Thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. Is Tatum obviously a value play? His price isn't low, but I like him a lot. You know, if that kind of makes sense. Like his price isn't super cheap. You know, he's 6,200. He's right there with Kuzma. With Horford out, his minutes are secured. He might start at power forward, meaning a few more easy rebounds. He's definitely going to score it because that's his talent. Or at least they're going to get him shots. All of Horford's shots have to get split up somewhere. Kyrie will take a couple extra. Tatum will take a couple extra. Baines will take a couple extra. I think that Tatum is definitely in play tonight. What helped me the most when I started playing daily fantasy? Thinking about the game. Thinking about the game constantly. Doing stuff like you guys do right here in this chat. Asking questions with and from like-minded individuals. Getting in Discord. I see like 10 guys in the Discord subs-only NBA channel talking about the slate all day. Like I have it open. Like I'm working, but like I see it scrolling next to me on my secondary monitor. And I'll jump in there every once in a while. But I see these like 5, 6, 10 guys sitting in there just going over stuff in Discord. Type ! Discord in the chat if you want the link to that. And they're all just getting after it. Okay, well, this guy was out. This was what was happening this morning. Oh, Durant is out. Let's go to the on-off data. Let's go look at who's going to benefit the most. Oh, with him out today, this is what happened. Oh, Horford's out. Mike Gallagher made a tweet with the other starters and Horford out. Here's the other combinations that the Celtics have played at power forward and center. And everybody kind of figured that out real quick, right? And it leads to you getting smarter. So definitely join the Discord, and then you got to link your Discord. I am not customer service. I am not tech support. If it does not work for you, you have to get a hold of Discord customer support because I don't know. I'm not IT. I can't do that for you. But when you link your Discord to Twitch, there are instructions in the hashtag instructions channel there in Discord that will allow you to link to this, and it will recognize you as a sub. It refreshes once an hour. then you'll have access to all the sub-only rooms, and you can get in there and talk about it. And guys sit in there all day and chat about NBA, and all morning on NFL Sundays talk about NFL, and we sweat the games as well. So it's kind of fun. Anyway, I got to get going because I got to finish up my article, and I've got to get ready for NBA tonight and do my projections and do my allocations and make my lineups. And hopefully I don't screw up my import this evening so that I don't have one lineup trying to run a train through every single tournament on the list. So good luck to you guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all the support, the new subs, and the new followers. You guys have been awesome. Thank you very much for being here, and I will catch up to you later.